Up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Looks like we got a little trappy McTrapster in the market today. But more importantly than that, we got some key players in the house. What is happening? We got Albert in the house. Good morning. We got Bill, Blake joining us. We got Chad, David, Fayaz, Jay, Jill, Joe, Kyle. Good morning. Lucian's in the house. We got Matt R. I don't know where in the world Matt R is, to be honest. He travels every day. I don't know. He might be a fugitive, to be honest. I'm thinking maybe he might be a fugitive, like different state lines every day. I'm not sure. But either way, hope you're having a great morning. We got Michael Holt in the house. Good morning. We got Mike. Good morning. Quantrin. Coolest name I've ever heard in my life. We got Rich K. We got Rick. Good morning. We got Ron, Sam, T-Flow. T-Flow. I think I got your new album. Congrats on all your success. Tony in the house, good morning. Tremaine, good morning. We got Vaughn, Yasser. Yo, Vars joining us. A bunch of guys piling. Oh, man, we got Doug KK. No, Enough said. Enough said. Good morning, team. Good morning, team. Hope you guys are doing fantastic, as always. And let's see if we can get a screen share. Let's see if who's doing better today, the Bulls or the Bears. Let's see. I don't know. I think we are gapping down on a lot of things. And I'm just a little disappointed in the Bears today. I'm a little disappointed. I was thinking we could get a little bit more of a trap. You know, make the Bulls believe. I feel like 2 days, that's all you got. You only got 2 days in you now. And then we rug pull? No. I expected more. We will see. We will see. I've seen better traps, but a lot of things are we'll go through a couple things, but some things are definitely doing a little gap and go. Keep in mind, SPY, this is a gap and go. If anybody in the chat could type in from 1 to 10, 1 being the weakest, 10 being the strongest. How big of a gap and go do you think? How strong of a gap and go do you think this is today? What's your sentiment? Cindy says 2. Matt says 1. Joe's splitting the middle. All right. Yeah, I'd probably say a little bit on the weaker end, right? We still have a little bit of support. Tony's going 3. Yeah, I'd probably put it at about a 4, I think. If it was gapping all the way down here, that's a 10 for me. If it's underneath that 10 EMA on the daily, I would probably put it as a probably 8 to 9. Maybe I go like 8.275. Maybe I just give them the CPI. I'll give them the I-bond rate, 9.62. Not sure, but we have the 10 holding us up. So that's number 1. We are still above yesterday's open. That's number 2. And we are gapping down a little bit. We have not, if anybody has been watching the markets at all in the last 2 days, and they're like, hey, I need an opportunity to try to get in. Once we get a pullback, I'll get in. And we just haven't had a pullback. Just massive bull day, no pullback. We opened up a little bit of a fade, and then that was it. That little fade right here. That was it. No pullbacks really yesterday for the most part. So I think in some sense, we probably at this point at least could draw some kind of fib just to get a rough idea. Jose's in the house. Good morning. Just FYI, make sure you guys change. You just take a look at the chat pane. If it says host and panelist, that's only going to go to me. And nobody's really messaging me. You guys are talking to each other. So make sure you guys change that over to everyone so everyone can see your greatness, your comments. Oh, we got Harold stopping in. He's going with 6. That was just, Harold's an optimist. He's an optimist. He's the strongest one so far with a 6. All right. Yeah, I'll go 6. I'll give you that. But let's draw out real quick a spot for the 50 and the 618. Let's see if we can find some kind of a pullback that we should be watching for today. Because again, this just honestly could be some kind of a retrace. That's the 50. That's the 618. All right. Well, drawing out the fibs, I kind of don't want a 50% retrace because that will bring us below that. That would be a bearish day today. That would bring us below that 10 EMA on a daily. I kind of want to see that hold. So if it gets down there, we have the lines out there. We'll be able to alert ourselves. The other line that I want to draw for myself is where is the opening range of yesterday? I think if we start to break that, yes, we do. We will still have that 10 EMA coming in. But if we start breaking yesterday's low, that's not going to be a good sign. That means at least if we could break yesterday's low, I really don't have too much doubt that we could actually get back to that at least 50%. If not, this might be a dip that gets bought at open. So I would be concerned. But this is the SPY. Let's go to some individual companies. We'll take a look at that. We got the Amazon. We got Jeff Bezos himself. Looks like he might have trouble making some yacht payments. I don't know. He might. So this is a much better looking gap and go. I would rate this one probably about an 8. Probably about an 8. Hector wants a huge bull run today and tomorrow, or at least predicting that. Miss Cleo, coming now. 1, 2, 3. This gap and go is a little bit more significant, Mr. Cleo. So we have that. I think somebody pointed that out in Slack, but here's our daily chart. This is definitely a inverse hammer. We got into a key resistance area, which is that V package over there, and we are coming down quite a little bit. Again, we still have that 10. I'm looking for that as some kind of saving grace, some kind of hope, thoughts and prayers. But we have some kind of other support in this zone. Obviously, if any of these candles get taken out, we're donezo. I don't think that happens today. It was fairly bullish yesterday. Again, really not a lot of pullback, except for that was mostly in the end of the day, I believe. But we're still kind of holding that range. And what I would expect, this should be definition, gap and go, get in at the open. I don't think for a 10 EMA, and we'll have to see because yesterday we did have some sell-off, so we will check the 10 EMA. We just based on the fact that we're gapping down, that qualifies. Does it qualify if are we below the pre-market and regular market 10 EMA? That would be the only other rule that would qualify. I would like to, even though there's a gap and go, I would love to see a little bit of retest and then kind of fade down. And again, target initially isn't going to be that big. We could get a bounce off that 10 EMA where we got that support coming in. So, good looking gap. If it was below that 10, it gets a little extra bonus point. It's not there yet, and we even if we do sell a little bit, we're not really. All we're really doing is going to hit that support, and maybe we get some Amazon loving right there. Not sure. So it is a good looking gap. I wouldn't be as excited. I would love for some kind of retest first, even though it is a gap and go. I'm going to have to be a little patient, or at least if I take that trade, I'm going to have to design probably a small stop to make those numbers work. Anytime we have a small stop, we're going to put a little extra risk on that we just get stopped out for the full or loss. Not my favorite thing. This one, Apple, does look decent. We are below the 10 EMA on a daily. We are below yesterday's candle. Not a lot of volume yesterday on Apple. We know that this thing has some inherent weakness to it. We still don't know what's happening with the iPhone demand. first target on Apple, I'd be putting it somewhere at 142.78. So that's not going to give us a whole heck of a lot. The next target might be a little bit more worth it, 141.06 if it could get there. But I think I'd prefer to almost short Apple still. Apple over Amazon. Let's see. We got NVIDIA. So this one won't qualify. So far we got Apple, we got Amazon. NVIDIA will not qualify at open for its 10 EMA strategy, but a little bit of a chop zone. This is technically a gap and go, not clearing yesterday's pivot. We still have that 10 EMA trying to hold us up. That is going to be a spot people look to buy. We also have, similar to Amazon, we also have that little bit of support area somewhere down here. Could get that little slight bounce as well, holding it up. We got Rock in the house. How do I like shop? Is it at $20 yet? That's my question. Is it at 20 yet? I'll pull it up in a second. Let me just see AMD. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I sound. I just talk. I don't really listen to myself, to be all honest. But we had two strong bullish days yesterday. Well, we could only have one day yesterday, but then the day before that was also bullish. I think on some of these things, we are starting to break that 10 EMA. I think longer term still, we still have a lot going on with the Fed, and I'm probably a little bit more, ultimately more bearish than bullish. However, we've seen market rallies in bear markets that just run absolutely bullish. We've seen nonstop bullishness for a week straight, 10 days straight, something crazy that you don't expect. The fact that some of those companies, so like AMD, no, I'm not going to be as bullish on this one. Like if something's going to fade, probably AMD. What I'm looking for is though range. If we do go bearish, we still have, in this case, AMD has a little bit of maybe buy the dipper. We got some increasingly developing VPOCs. This AMD one does look on a little bit weaker side because at least at this point, we have this little zone, this area right here that we're gapping below, and that entire zone is now going to act as resistance. If we could get over that 10 EMA at any point, then I mean, bulls on parade, I think. I think targets will be $76. I don't see that happening yet. So this still a little bit of a pullback. Are we actually going to break down to have a crazy bearish day? That I don't know. We are trapping overall in the market some bulls, but there is some support holding it up, and that's what I'm more afraid of. How strong is that support going to be? Is that an opportunity for people to buy as we might continue just handing it over to giving it to the bears? Let's put it that way. Tesla. Yep, Tesla looks absolutely garbagely weak. This can definitely break down. Longer term, we do have some support that comes in over in the zone, but we don't have much holding this thing up. Not on the near term. Next target for me, about 226. I don't think that happens today. In this range, we're going to start hitting some chop city until we get to 226. But this one does look, it looks like it could go. That's why they call it a trash can, not a trash cannot. This one does have the full ability to keep on dropping. And if we break that one little bit of support, we have plenty of room. It could be a little choppy on the way down, but we will see. Non-farm jobs were good. Yeah, I mean, you're still getting those unemployment numbers and employment numbers. Really, the only saving grace for the economy. Good. Don't forget though, good numbers are bad numbers when it comes to employment. Employment and unemployment. Good numbers are bad numbers right now because the entire market is looking for the Fed to start slowing down on, like, they really want the Fed to start slowing down. I think the Fed should ignore the hype and just do what it wants to do, because quite honestly, the quicker they raise it, the quicker we're just out of this mess. We kind of start reversing. And in a longer term sense, we get in the right direction much quicker. But the Fed is still heavily leaning on those job numbers, saying, look, we still have a good economy. And if they're still saying we have a good economy, that gives them freedom to raise those rates even further, as it gives them more wiggle room. So good numbers or bad numbers when it comes to employment. And when it comes to CPI, bad numbers are bad numbers, good numbers are good numbers. So I think I just blew my mind. Shop, yeah, so strong day. We did get a close above that 30. We were sitting right at 30.56. Again, we know that 30 range is a very strong, I mean, it's a range, not an exact to the penny $30, but I'll use 30 as a catalyst. This is all some type of resistance, right? So I think as we get up into the zone, this is going to be a tough one to break. Worst case, if we're going to go bullish, we have to go bearish first, I think. If that's any trajectory of which way we're actually going to go, you're going to need some of these people like, oh, thank God, get a shot for a little less of a loss. Sure, I got in there at $700, but I'll wait for 31 as opposed to 30. And they might be looking for some kind of exit. I could see that happening if we're going to go bullish. If not, then I think this is also a possibility down to my sweet old target of 20, but we'll see. I know sometimes I have numbers, nobody believes me. And then Workhorse is at $1.50. You guys are like, wow. Like, well, they don't make anything. So I just went out on a ledge. J Payne. Yep, the power that he has when he goes to sleep. He just thinks about how we could figure out a way to ruin the economy. It's quite the job. Boeing has some room to the downside. We are below the 10 EMA. This is a gap and go. Just not clearing yesterday's pivot. If there's any other stocks out there, we went through the 6. Well, I guess the only one we didn't was Delta. But if there's any other stocks that you guys want to take a look at, we can type those either into the YouTube land chat or the normal regular chat. By the way, YouTube land, did you know that you could also just join us and you could just trade with us all day? I don't know. I don't know if we mentioned that ever. I just thought about that now. I was like, have we ever talked about that? There's another option. There's another light at the end of the tunnel. In 11 minutes when I have to shut down YouTube, it's still go. Like, we don't just turn off the internet here. We just keep going. I don't know if you guys are aware. That's all I'm saying. GEO, for day trade wise, not much of a gap. Not much of a gap. I'm going Kathy year plan on this one. So I have been buying GEO, been buying the dips. Was able to add some GEO this month. I like it long term, 5 years, day trade wise. You actually, it's weird. You could get some good day trade volume and movement on these, for GEO for some reason. I don't really day trade it. I'm a hodler. I just buy and hold. PayPal, PYPL. Yeah, again, everything is kind of looking the same, even on PayPal. So we do have that gap down. Usually that means we're trapping some bulls. I think some bulls are trapped. I know there's at least one lonely guy in Minnesota just finishing a bag of Cheetos at the end of the day yesterday. He goes, yeah, all right, PayPal, I'm going to buy it. And he bought it right at the top. So he's trapped. We have a very strong resistance somewhere probably in this 91.56 zone. But again, we have some decent looking support somewhere down here as well. And it could lead to a little chop, honestly. Corey says, Whoa, I'm in Minnesota and I love Cheetos. To be fair, I've never met a person that doesn't like Cheetos. I've never met them. I don't know. They don't exist. Yeah, that's a good question. Do you own, have you adopted some PayPal children into your portfolio? That's the question. If not, then you're just a regular person in Minnesota that likes Cheetos, and I get it. I get it. Minnesota's a beautiful place. This one, oddly, Coinbase has some room to the downside, oddly enough. We have a decent little resistance. I would go probably high of the day. It's going to be $3 if you do that. To the downside target will be probably about $4, $4.50. So if this thing starts bouncing up higher, throwing stops. And by the way, if I do short, if we could get any kind of bullish run today at open, like some kind of bullish candles, it might not be 10 EMA, but what I'm thinking is if we get any kind of run up in these stocks, let me just roll this up real quick. But if we could get any type of bullish move out of the gate, some kind of like retest, anywhere that I could get my stop above yesterday's high will give me the best risk reward, right? Because I think if at that point we start breaking out of yesterday's high on things, then we definitely are sitting a little bit more bullish than bearish. How do I say that? CR0? Is it CRO0? CRO0? Question is in YouTube. So we are overall bearish today, no matter what. We have a hue of bearishness. On the last 2 days, we definitely have some kind of, I think, more or less a squeeze that was happening. I think a longer term, we're more bearish. But I haven't seen anything yet that says to me, like, this is definitely the play. Like, for instance, I think Amazon and Apple, they're my two favorite bearish plays, just because that we're at least clearing the entire gap. The problem to me is, and if the opportunity sets up, I will go bearish on Apple or Amazon. That would be my play. But I don't know if my risk to reward is going to be there with those targets. I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a chop. So if I take that, I'm only going to go for, if I'm risking an R, 1 unit of risk, I'm going to try to be bailing at that 1.2 on these guys. I don't trust this big bearish move yet, unless we have some kind of Fed or something that I don't know. But I'd have to go quick on my targets. If I could grab 1.2 somewhere, pull it out, try it again somewhere. That's how I'm gonna have to do. Which it says you're bearish, DJ. On some things, I think the market, we are trapping some bulls, Woodshed. We're trapping Tommy from Minnesota eating Cheetos. Nike, NKE. Yeah. This is a good gap and go. And this one has, I mean, if anything, this was a slight dead cat bounce on Nike. Yeah, that one looks a little bit better. Again, targets on this one. First one's gonna be 85.96. Second one, 84.13. So take it what you will. But the key for me today is I'm gonna watch the SPY very, very closely. If the SPY is building any type of support to run bullish, I'm probably gonna market exit out of some of those bearish trades. Because I do think we could have still some bullish move, and honestly, we have some profit taking coming in, and I just don't trust, for me, the bearish side that much in terms of targets. Although if I have to trade out of the gate, like my life depends on it, I'm gonna have to go bearish. But it's just, I think we get a little extra chop in there today. I don't know. Is that just me? Is anybody full? If you're full on bull today, type of one. If you're full on bear type 2? Out of curiosity, if you're a bull, type 1. If you're bearish today, type 2. If you think we do really hardly anything, we just chop city, type 3. Chad goes 0. I don't know, Chad. There's only 3 choices. Which is still going to lean bullish. Yasser says 3. Joel is in at a 3, so chop. Tony's still bullish on things. All right, so we're about a 50-50 split. Sam says 3 for chop. Wes is at a 2. Dirty Dan in YouTube land is at 2. Yeah. Lots of 3s. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.5. There's no extra credit, Sky. There's no extra credit. Just extra. That means extra chop. 2, yeah. So we're getting a little bit based on that quick survey, which is pretty much how the CPI, how the Fed comes up with CPI reports, just surveying people. So I'm gonna go with this is accurate. We have a little bit more bearishness, but mostly everyone's kind of on the fence with some chop. So I don't know, team. I don't know. I think the best plan is probably just to sit on our hands for a little bit to see which way we want to run. I think because of the chop sentiment, if we run bullish, I'm going to sell rips and buy dips. And I also read that off a bumper sticker. So there's that. Leaning bearish, but what about energy? Energy, I think, could still have, like, especially crude, I think we still go bullish, to be honest. Yeah. These guys are up about 0.5% now. I still like even, so just crude by itself. I mean, target on this one, 89. Again, positive energy is bad for inflation, but I think we still have that Nord Stream thing that all they have to do is buy Flex Seal. I don't understand the big deal. You got a couple holes in a pipe somewhere leading from Russia to Europe. Have they not seen the Flex Steel commercial? Problem solved. I don't get it. I mean, they make it out to be such a big deal. Who did it? Who cares? Just fix it. Just put some Flex Seal on it. Save a baby seal. I don't know. Hey, he's in a sinking boat with a big hole in it. I don't even know. Maybe someone should ask him how he got the hole in it in the first place. Was it pirates? I'm going to assume it's probably pirates. I don't know. But let me switch this chart over. XOM and Oxy. Yeah, both XOM and Oxy, I think will have, if I had to lean bullish on something, anything in the energy, I do agree. I think XOM, Oxy, both have good potentials. XOM's already running, so they're getting more continuation. They're going to move off the price of crude. So yeah, if you want to run bullish on things, I'd go somewhere in that direction for sure. But I only got 20 seconds left. So YouTube land, unfortunately, I got to let you guys go. I don't want to. I mean, I got one teardrop coming from my eyes for sure. But the good news is 2 options. One, we do have all access pass. You guys can join us each and every day, full day. We close after the market. We're here till 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 hours after the market. Talk about some bonus features. But otherwise, if not, that's cool too. We have free education online. And of course, you guys could join us each and every morning here on YouTube land. Otherwise, be safe out there. I will catch all of you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.